When you picture World War II, what's one of the first images that comes to mind? For so many of us, it's the German soldier. In this explainer, we're going to break down the standard issue equipment that created this unforgettable figure, the complete iron kit that was built for a new age of industrial warfare. You know, the German soldier, the Landsar, became one of the most recognizable combatants of the entire 20th century. That silhouette, the posture, his whole presence on the battlefield, all of it was meticulously shaped by the gear he was issued. And this is the absolute key. His equipment wasn't just a random jumble of items. Not at all. It was a complete, integrated system. Every single piece was designed for efficiency, discipline, and the brutal realities of a new kind of mass warfare. So where does that unmistakable silhouette actually come from? Well, it really starts with two key things: the helmet that protected his head and the uniform he wore into every battle. Let's talk about the Stahlhelm, the steel helmet. I mean, its shape is so distinctive, almost menacing, right? But that look wasn't for show, it was pure engineering, designed to give amazing protection against shell fragments and shrapnel. And you can actually see the war drag on just by looking at the helmet. The design got simpler, from the M35 to the M42, all to speed up production. And of course, when he wasn't in combat, he'd just wear a simple field cap, the Feldmütze. The uniform itself, in that famous field gray, also evolved. But if you really want to see a story about Germany's wartime economy, just look at the boots, seriously. Early in the war, soldiers wore those tall, leather marching boots. But by the late war, they were mostly replaced by shorter ankle boots with canvas gaiters. And why? To save precious leather and streamline production. This one change tells you so much about the immense pressure on resources. Okay, so how did a soldier carry all this gear? His entire world was literally held together by an intricate system of straps and pouches. And especially at the beginning of the war, it was heavily reliant on leather. The core of this whole setup was a belt, supported by Y straps that went over the shoulders. And this was a really smart design, because it distributed the heavy weight of ammunition pouches and other gear across the whole upper body. Attached to all this was the indispensable Bratbeutel, or bread bag, a simple canvas satchel that held everything from rations and cleaning kits to personal letters from home. Of course, at the very heart of the soldier's kit were his weapons. These were the tools that defined his job on the battlefield, from the trusty infantry rifle to the absolutely devastating firepower of the squad's machine gun. The standard rifleman carried the Karabiner 98K, a bolt-action rifle that was famous for being accurate and reliable. Now, squad leaders and assault troops often got the MP-40 submachine gun for close quarters fighting. But the true core of the German infantry squad's firepower was the MG-34 or its legendary successor, the MG-42. And of course, every soldier got the iconic steel hand grenade, the famous stick grenade. All right, we've covered the weapons for fighting, but what about the gear for just surviving? Day in and day out, every soldier carried a whole collection of equipment essential for life in the field. This is the stuff of daily life. The tornister backpack for spare clothes, a canteen and mess kit for food and water, and a foldable entrenching tool for digging in. Now, that gas mask canister is interesting. Every soldier carried one, but since gas warfare never really materialized, it often got used to store other things, like cigarettes or rations. And each man had a small first aid dressing, just enough to get by until a medic arrived. So when we look at all these items together, we see it, right? It's a complete system. From the protective curve of that helmet to the way the Y-straps distributed the load of ammunition, every piece was part of an integrated whole, designed for a soldier fighting a modern industrial war.